So today, we need to be worried about much more than just the trends. We need to be worried about opportunities, those patterns that are on the horizon. So I want to talk to you today about what professional futurists actually do, and that is what I call wicked opportunities. Now, a lot of people might know that we're living in an environment of wicked problems. Let me explain what a wicked problem is. A wicked problem is a problem that's so bad that every time we try to come up with a solution for it, we actually create 3 new problems. And that's the environment that we're living in today. As a matter of fact, many call this the VUCA environment. V-U-C-A. It's an acronym that was actually created by the American military when they first went into Afghanistan several years back. They thought, wow, what an environment that we're in here. We don't recognize this. It's so volatile, it's so uncertain, it's so complex, and so ambiguous, the VUCA acronym. But many today are saying that that describes our office on Monday morning, this VUCA environment. And so let me just describe to you briefly what volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous actually means. So volatile is that speed of change that we're in. We're changing more today than we ever have before. As a matter of fact, it's been said that over the last several years, the speed of change and the amount of change is equal to the same amount of change that took place over the last 2 decades. And the amount of change that took place over the last 2 decades is equal to the amount of change that took place over the last century. That's how volatile we are today. And the speed of change means the amount of change is shortening spans of change. So we're in this very volatile environment. So uncertain in our VUCA acronym actually is about the kind of change that's taking place that we're not aware of. It would be much like if you were in Las Vegas and you had a set of dice and you're about to roll the die and you know you've got them, but you don't know what number is going to come up, whether it's going to be a 7 or a 2, and you go to roll the dice and you're unaware. That's the kind of environment we're in today. We might know what our operating system is, but we aren't clear what the processes or the outcomes are going to be. We're uncertain about those ideas that are going to happen. And then the C stands for complexity. And complexity we're all so worried about. As a matter of fact, every few months, magazines come up with these ideas about complexity. We need to simplify complexity. We need to somehow tamp down complexity. Some even say we need to kill complexity. But actually, I'm here to tell you today that that's not the case. Complexity is actually the natural order of things. As a matter of fact, when you have a little baby and then it grows to be a teenager, which one's more complex, the baby or the teenager? If I'm one of the early discoverers or explorers and I look out into the universe with my telescope, do I see things getting more simple or more complex as I look out? I could go through example after example of this, but complexity is actually the natural order of maturity and growth in the universe. It's not complexity that's tripping us up, it's complication, and that's something we do to ourselves. It's much like if I'm in a business and I create triplicate of facts, and I have a head count or an operating system or organizational development, and I make things very complex because I add systems and buttons in my organization to try to overcome complexity. The problem is not complexity. The problem is the fact that we are transitioning out of an old industrial age model, and our mindsets are still stuck there. And we need to transition into this new, what I would call a post-normal economy or post-normal age. What that simply means is that we're not where we used to be, we're not where we're yet going, and I actually have a little bit of a secret, and that is that normal is not coming back again. The speed of change, the uncertainty, and yes, the complexity are making things much more volatile than we've ever had them before. And then the last in our VUCA acronym is ambiguity, the A. And ambiguity is similar to this dice again, except this time, we don't even know if we have dice. In other words, we're in a system today where things have changed so much from the mental models that we're used to that we're not sure about what the operating system actually is. We're not sure what we're using to get outcomes that we don't even know about yet. This is how much our mental models have to change in this post-normal economy. And so that is why we have wicked problems today. We have these wicked or complex problems because we don't know how to solve them from an old mindset. We need to look at them in a new way. So I actually want to say something super encouraging to everybody today, and that is that we don't have to look at things as wicked problems. We actually can change our mental models and our mindsets and think about wicked opportunities. In other words, the complexity that is actually the natural order of things is allowing us space to grow. It gives us a greater canvas to paint on for transformation, for adaptation, for change, and for opportunity. And so we call those wicked opportunities. And I actually can show you today how, through 3 simple rules, to actually achieve wicked opportunities.